Tonight, with toxic fallout spreading from President Trump's racist comments, along with a cloud of evasions, including yet again from the president himself, we begin keeping them honest with words that would resonate coming from any other president, but ring particularly hollow today.
Today we celebrate Dr. King for standing up for the self-evident truth Americans hold so dear, that no matter what the color of our skin or the place of our birth, we are all created equal by God.
The president reading this year's Martin Luther King Jr. Day proclamation just one day after telling a bipartisan group of lawmakers that no, we are not all created equal, at least not if you are born in, as the president put it, a shithole country like Haiti or El Salvador or several countries in Africa. You are not, by the president's stated thinking, equal to someone born in Norway. Just to remind you, the president said what he said inside the Oval Office yesterday at a meeting with Republican and Democratic lawmakers on a possible immigration deal. That's what a source familiar with it tells CNN. It is what several sources tell the Washington Post, which broke the story, and it is what two participants, one a Democrat and one a Republican, confirmed. The president said, according to our source, Haitians. Why do we need more Haitians? Take them out. Meaning take them out of the immigration deal. And again, with apologies for the language, he also reportedly said, why are we having all these people from shithole countries come here? By the way, here's what else he was doing yesterday as he heaped scorn on countries where predominantly black and brown-skinned people live. He was recording a Martin Luther King Jr. Day message for this Monday. And keeping them honest, here's what else he did and did not do when the story hit. For starters, he did not have his spokesman, Raj Shah, deny it last night. What he did do, according to a source familiar with his actions, is spend the night calling supporters and taking what was characterized as a victory lap over his comments. That's right, a victory lap. Now just let that sink in. Just hours after reports that he denigrated Haitians and others, and on the eve of the anniversary of the Haitian earthquake, no less, the President of the United States was on the phone, high-fiving with his friends. By early morning, though, his boasting turned to denials on Twitter. The language used by me at the DACA meeting was tough, but this was not the language used. What was really tough was the outlandish proposal made a big setback for DACA. And this about an hour later. Never said anything derogatory about Haitians other than Haiti is obviously a very poor and troubled country. Never said, take them out, made up by Dems. I have a wonderful relationship with Haitians. Probably should record future meetings. Unfortunately, no trust. Keeping them honest, no tapes are needed. As we said, two participants, one from each party, have weighed in with the facts. Here is Democratic Senator Dick Durbin.
But I cannot believe that in the history of the White House, in that Oval Office, any president has ever spoken the words that I personally heard our president speak yesterday.
South Carolina Republican Lindsey Graham also weighed in, first telling his colleague, Senator Tim Scott, that the comments reported are, quote, basically accurate. That's according to his hometown paper, the Charleston Post and Courier. He then put out a public statement today, and while it did not directly acknowledge the president's use of obscenity, he did say that he pushed back on the president's remarks. The president and all those attending the meeting know what I said and how I feel. I've always believed that America is an idea, not defined by its people, but by its ideals. As for the other lawmakers present, it is hardly profiles in courage. We reached out to all of them. Two said they do not recall the president saying what he has reportedly said. They claim they just don't remember. One other Republican, Congressman Mario Diaz-Balart, sidestepped the question in a tweet, calling it a diversion from his efforts on DACA. Two other leading Republicans who were in that room, Congressman Kevin McCarthy and Bob Goodlatte, have said nothing at all. House Speaker Paul Ryan did offer some tepid comments, calling the president's remarks, quote, unhelpful. Republican Senator Jeff Flake, on the other hand, gave no quarter. He is, of course, no fan of the president. However, he says that he is operating on first-hand knowledge, tweeting, quote, the words used by the president as related to me directly following the meeting by those in attendance were not tough. They were abhorrent and repulsive. And whether you agree with that assessment, one thing is clear. Toxic remarks, especially black and brown-skinned people, are nothing new for this president. Late last year, he reportedly slurred Haitian immigrants as all having AIDS and Nigerians as living in huts, something we should say the White House press secretary denies he said at the time. However, just to remind you, here is a sampling of some of Mr. Trump's other offensive comments, starting with what he said about the neo-Nazis and other white supremacists in Charlottesville.
You had some very bad people in that group, but you also had people that were very fine people on both sides.
Look at my African American over here.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States.
I would like to have him show his birth certificate.
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists.
This judge is of Mexican heritage. I'm building a wall.
You were here long before any of us were here. Although we have a representative in Congress who they say was here a long time ago. They call her Pocahontas.
These comments are not outliers. They are part of a consistently prejudicial worldview.